Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dad's Den of Pop Culture. It's Alpha Flight Monday. We've been going from issue 1, starting on January 1st of this year, right on through every week, another issue of Alpha Flight. We are now up to issue number 46, May of 1987, with the cover title of Friends. Oh, they're friends. Well, they don't look that friendly at the moment. Here we see friends and lovers, but surely you can do something. They're back at the New Life Clinic with Madison Jeffries' brother, Scramble, who can meld human flesh and bone. And they're saying, can you turn Walter Lankowski back into a man with your powers? This is written, by the way, by Bill Mantlo, pencils by June Brigman, Whilce Portacio inks, Jim Novak letters, Bob Sharon colors, Carl Potts editor, Jim Shooter editor in chief. So, yeah, I like the face work. I like the face work there in Purple Girl. So Aurora, of course, is very upset. She's got Walter back, but he's not Walter, and that's not working for her. And they're kind of going over what just happened, where Walter had come out of limbo through the medicine pouch of Smart Alec, and then he possessed the box robot, and then he possessed the dead body of Sasquatch, who had been Snowbird, and so transforming back into human form, he's now a woman rather than a man. We get a lot of text through here, but it comes down to Roger Box, who normally phased into and controlled the armor, had been a chubby man who didn't have legs. And Aurora had sort of taken a liking to him, but it was a little bit more, it wasn't love. It's kind of never love with Aurora. It's always a little more dalliance. And now that she's got Walter back, she's sort of forgotten about him. And this is after he had Scramble turn him into a muscular man with legs. So he's not really happy. And, only after I agreed to assume the risk because of my love for you, Aurora. Please, Roger. I was lonesome after my Walter died. I needed a distraction. Our affair offered me some amusement. Amusement? Is that all? I guess I was naive to expect you to remain faithful to my memory. I placed flowers on your grave, my love, but your memory could not dispel the darkness that crowded close on so many long, lonely nights. So that's kind of Aurora, and that's who she is. I don't think Roger necessarily should have expected a loyalty after his apparent death. But see, Box is, he's a fragile guy, and he's not dealing with this well at all. So Scramble takes a hold of Walter Lankowski's new body, and he fails. It doesn't work. And I like the little, maybe I should try Sweden. That's an old joke that was much better understood in the 80s probably than now, but people who were going for sex reassignment surgery, famously it started in Sweden, and so that was kind of a term that was used back then, kind of a line. And so it does not work. And he goes, no, Lankowski's body does not respond to my powers. I don't know why. His assistant says, perhaps I do, Dr. Jeffries. Well, who's this dude? What could a mere intern, you got to start somewhere, North Star, from Purple Girl. I think he's cute. While you were attempting to turn Ms. Lankowski into Mr. Lankowski, I took the liberty of training some modified probes on the subject. Basically what he finds out is she's a demigoddess, so it's not going to work out. All right, well, Walter's like, okay. I can't become a man again. Well, anything's better than being a ghost, right, Aurora? And she's like, don't touch me. And she flies off. And so Box is like, oh, here's my chance. She's rejected Lankowski. This is great. So the team leaves. And here we get an important little scene. Dr. Jeffries, I haven't your powers, but I've learned so much about novel approaches to medicine from you that I've hesitated to question some of the radical cures you achieve as Scramble. But now you feel compelled to, Dr. Knapp? It was the strange splotches I noticed on Mr. Box's new legs, sir. almost as if they were decomposing. Silence, or I'll transmutate you into unrecognizability. Perhaps I could not cure Lankowski, but my power over my human subjects must be unquestionable. Were I ever to doubt that, why I might go mad. Yes, Dr. Jeffries, of course. But if he threatened to use his powers on me, who served him loyally, perhaps he already has gone mad. So Box follows after Aurora, and she's like, no, can you please leave me to my misery? No, I love you, and unlike Lankowski, I can love you. And she says, pig, and flies away. So again, we're talking about a very fragile ego here. That's not going to go well. Now they're going to, for an issue or two here, they're going to kind of pick up a thread on Alpha Flight that was very interesting to me, and I enjoyed. And sadly, it did. They were too busy trying to switch over to the new team, so it didn't get pursued the way I think it might have been. But so that night, Tamarin Island, Heather's entering all the data on the team members into the computer and all that kind of stuff, and she's kind of remembering the original team and what happened to Guardian and what happened when, the Sasquatch had gone crazy and Snowbird had to kill Sasquatch and, Marina leaving, etc. Shaman losing Snowbird. So out of this original team, we've lost Lankowski and got him back. Marina's left to be with the Submariner. Guardian is dead. Shaman has left. Snowbird has been killed. So out of the original team, now Walter's back. So we kind of have Walter. We have Aurora. We have Puck. We have North Star. Who will survive the transition? So she's looking in on her, her team. And we see Aurora talking to Puck. You alone express no disgust over my behavior. Perhaps because I, too, know what it means to yearn after an impossible love. You? Is it so preposterous that a dwarf should love? No, it's just that I came here to discuss me. Of course, foolish me to have forgotten that your longest-running love affair has always been with yourself. I can see I will get no sympathy here. We see North Star. He's still coughing and stuff, talking with Lankowski. And there's kind of a nice, so they did do a little bit of character development with North Star. I really wish that character had persisted and they could have done more with him. It would have been great. So Lankowski's looking in the mirror and he's like, hey, I'm kind of a knockout. And North Star says, like my sister, I'm afraid that I preferred the man you were. You did? I cried with Aurora when I thought we'd lost you. I never knew. I'm sorry. I need neither your condolences or your concern. Neither can help one who is doomed. Doomed? Heather goes doomed from a cough? What's North Star talking about? Will anybody ask North Star what he's talking about? No, they won't. Although, to be honest, he probably wouldn't have told them. So we also get a little moment between those two, which is not friendly, etc. Jeffrey is helping Kara with her homework. Aurora nearly goes in to talk to, I believe, Roger Box. Yeah. Will she go in? No, she turns around and decides not to. She says, okay, that's enough. I need to go to bed. And had she looked in that room, she would have seen Box sitting on his bed, scratching at the sores on his legs. And he's starting to go nuts. I'll make them all pay. Whoa. And so that night, Aurora is having a nightmare. She's seeing the nuns from the orphanage she was at. They're calling her evil. Mon Dieu, no, it cannot be. Surely you remember us, Jean-Marie, the good sisters of Mademoiselle Dupont's school for girls. We raised you when your Satan-spawned parents perished. We hoped, we prayed, that we had driven their sacrilege out of your soul, just as we hoped that we had remade you in a more acceptable image. And that would be the Jean-Marie image. And Aurora's like, no, I am a lady of light. And then, boom, Box busts through the wall. North Star comes running. Puck, it sounded like an explosion from upstairs, an attack. And that's when they see Box standing on the stairs holding Aurora. He wants to punish them all. They're all against him. Roger, you can't mean that. I know Aurora's hurt you, but you haven't stopped loving her. Sasquatch, up the back elevator, quickly. Done. Box, you're an Alphan. Let me at him. That's irrelevant. Try North Star, and I'll kill your sister. So, Kara makes an attempt at getting control of his mind. He kicks her down the stairs. Boxy, how could you? Get off your knees, Madison. You don't fool me. We were friends ever since the institution. I stayed your friend, but you switched loyalties over to them. The same team that welcomed you, them. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting those backwards. And this is Puck doing his awesome flippy stuff to get a hold of Aurora. Dude, again, Puck comes through. Them is Alpha, Box, the same team that welcomed you, despite your troubled past. The team that became your family. Don't throw that away. You heard Puck. Box, we're still your friends. Let us help you. By choosing to defend Aurora, you reject me. You're crazy. That's what they always said. But I'll show the world they were wrong. Huh? Who's they? And so we get a little thought stuff from Puck here. God, Brigman has such clean art. I really like it. It's dynamic, but it's also not exaggerated for the most part. Really good. You don't know, Sasquatch. You couldn't. You were inducted straight into Alpha Flight, not Beta, and thus passed over the clinic for socially maladjusted super beings. The CSMJSB, no, that doesn't really work, where I and Mr. Jeffries and Box were tested. We graduated to Alpha when we were presumably cured. It appears that some of us merely learned to disguise our maladies. Aurora, are you all right, eh? I am sorry, sisters. I didn't mean to blaspheme. I'll be good. Only please don't lock me up. So basically, she's back in her Jean-Marie persona. So what Puck is saying is, some of the members of Alpha Flight were mentally unstable, or at least had some kind of issues. Now we know about the sort of depression and feelings of inadequacy from Puck, and we kind of know where they come from too. We don't necessarily know what the deal was with Jeffries. We're going to find out. And apparently Box had some issues too. And so we get a big fight, and Box then uses the same tactic against Lankowski that he used against Pestilence when he was in the armor. And Puck is again injured somewhat. And so Heather also gets taken out. Now, Heather was able to send a plasma burst into Sasquatch that killed it, but not the Box robot. It's a bit of an inconsistency, in my opinion. Or maybe she just doesn't want to really hurt him. Although at the moment, I don't know why not. So Jeffrey starts using his metal transmuting to raise these walls in front of Box. Puck, I guess who's not really injured, is tending to Heather, and again feeling crappy about himself. And again, you need to work through things like that in comics. It becomes a single note for a character. So he's doing his best to, stop him. And I need no one's help. Your betrayal has shown me that I must stand alone. Delusions, paranoia. You've suffered him before, Boxy. Don't you remember being a fat little paraplegic, cursing the whole world for the loss of his legs, when it was no one's fault but fate's? That's what the doctors at the institution tried to tell you. Doctors, they all lied, every one of them. They talked truth, pal, telling you couldn't go on using your brain to get back at a world that hadn't hurt you. Just like they told me I couldn't keep building mechanical barriers between myself and the rest of the human race. We didn't believe them. Nah, we told them to take their theories and stuff them. We didn't need nobody except each other, till Hudson came along and told us that the very powers that made us nutcases, freaks, were exactly what he was looking for. Only we had to stop using those powers to hurt humanity. We had to use them to help. You believed Mac then, Boxy. Why won't you listen to reason now? Well, Box is too far gone. Grew. And so, because of the threat he's posing, we kind of discover a sort of a new power from Madison Jeffries. He kind of pulled this one out of nowhere. And what my power to transmute metal can make, my power to control that metal can take. And all of a sudden, he phases into the Box robot and pushes Box out. I'm sorry, Boxy. Mr. Jeffries has phased inside Box, forcing Roger Box out? It's not possible. I designed the robot to accommodate my mind, my genetic matrix. You had me modify it to accommodate others in the past, Boxy. Walter Lankowski, for one. I guess I never saw no need to unmodify it, or to use the modification to give you the boot, till now. To me, this would make more sense if I could see where he could force Roger out. Seems like it'd make more sense if he just sort of wrapped the armor around himself or something like that. I don't know where the phasing... I mean, okay, maybe he has that power too, but he didn't really have that power before. I will say, his legs are not hairy enough there. We need a little more body hair on Puck. And so Roger's like, you planned this all along. He's losing it, just like in the Kane Mutiny. And he's still scratching at his legs, which seem to be decomposing. From the very start, you've been scheming behind my back, waiting your chance to steal my robot, to betray me, to steal my spot in Alpha, and take my place with Aurora. The only basis for any of that bile you're spewing, Boxy, is in your own twisted mind. A friendship dies. Will Alpha survive it? Well, some of Alpha will survive it. And some won't. So there we go, folks. Alpha Flight 46. Now, when I first read this, I felt like, okay, all right, we've had a few more changes, which is typical for Alpha Flight. It almost seems like it's had to have had like the highest death toll of any team book Marvel ever had. That might be wrong, but it's pretty high anyways. And the attack of the mental instability of some of these people, I thought that's kind of interesting. I wonder what they're going to do with that. Well, they will kind of pursue it a little bit, but ultimately they won't. And you'll see as we go and as we continue the transition. Anyways, that's Alpha Flight number 46. Let me know in the comments what you think of the book, the good, the bad, etc. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, subscribe, share with a friend. And until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there. And I will see you again soon. Well, you can see like on the side, the light from my water bottle. Oh, see, look at that. I will see you again soon in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. Bye-bye.